Hi budding biologists, this clip I'm going to investigate the structure and function of tissues, organs and organ systems, and we're going to relate those to cell differentiation and function. Let's start by defining some key terms. First up, cell differentiation is the process by which a less specialized cell is changed to become specialized. For example, the process of a blood stem cell differentiating to a red blood cell. Cell specialization is different. It's the specific function which a cell has. It's determined by the physiology and the cellular structures within the cell. For example, a red blood cell is specialized with hemoglobin molecules. A tissue is a group of cells which work together to perform a function. For example, muscle cells work together in muscle tissues to produce motion in the body. Organ is a structure which is composed of a number of tissues that work together to perform a shared function. A system is a group of organs that work together to perform an aspect of the bodily function. For example, the renal system is composed of the kidneys, as well as the uterus and bladder, and the urethra, which work together to clear wastes from the body. Okay. Now that we have some of the terminology under control, let's start by talking about cell differentiation and specialization. When an organism begins to develop as embryos, all the cells are embryonic stem cells. As the embryo continues to grow and divide, the stem cells begin to differentiate into different cells with specific functions. The changing of stem cells to a type of cell is differentiation. The final form it takes is the specialization of the cell. As adults, stem cells are found in bone marrow, which are used to differentiate and replenish stocks of red blood cells. This process of differentiation and specialization is important as each cell type has a very different set of capabilities and is important in the overall function of the multicellular organism. Tissues are the collection of specialized cells that work cohesively to form a set of function. Each cell has organelles specifically designed to undertake certain tasks the body requires. Here are some examples of tissues. In animals, there are many types of tissues. Here are 3 examples of specialized cells in tissues. Muscle tissue is what makes up muscles. There are many types of muscle. However, muscle is composed of mitocyte cells. These cells are long in shape and contain specialized cytoskeleton. These specialized features of these cells allow the cell to contract and relax, allowing for the function of movement. Epithelial tissue is made up of epithelial cells. These function to perform secretion, excretion, and absorption. This type of tissue coats the surfaces of the body, contact with the outside, for example, the skin or the digestive tract. For example, the columnar epithelial cells have a rectangular shape that allow for them to tightly pack together along the surface of the intestine, allowing for absorption. Nervous tissue is made up of neurons. Neurons have a specific structural features that process and pass along information in the form of electrochemical signals. These features include dendrites, an axon, and synapses. Now some examples from plants. Mesophyll tissue is made up of mesophyll cells that contain chloroplasts to perform photosynthesis. This tissue is found in the leaf. Xylem tissues are made of tracheids that have long shape and thick cell wall, allowing for structural support and water flow within the stem of plants. Now, organs are a group of tissues that perform large-scale function. The organ structure is influenced by the function it must perform. Animals have a wide range of organs to complete a range of functions. Each organ is made up of a range of different tissues to help carry out its specific functions. Some examples include lungs contain smooth muscle tissue, epithelial tissue, bronchioles, alveoli, lymphatic tissue, and blood tissues, whereas the heart contains cardiac muscle tissue, connective tissues, blood tissues, and nervous tissue. Some examples from plant organs as well. For example, Roots are made up of vascular tissues, epidermal tissues, and parenchyma tissue, known as the pith. So far, we have examined how specialised cells make up specialised tissue that have specific functions. These tissue types make up organs that carry out specific functions for the whole organism. The next level of organisation is systems. From junior science, you would be familiar with a number of different body systems. We are going to be exploring the importance of some of these systems in meeting the needs of the whole organism in this module and a little bit later. But for now, we need to understand that types of organs which compose a system will depend on the overall function of the system in the multicellular organism. It is important to understand that each of these systems are not separate. They interact with each other to achieve a joint function. Here's an example. The circulatory system moves blood around the body to many other organs and organ systems to provide both oxygen and remove carbon dioxide wastes. The respiratory system works alongside the circulatory system to remove gaseous wastes from the blood and introduce oxygen back into the blood. In this clip, I've explored the hierarchical structure of organisation within multicellular organisms. In the next clip, we'll be explaining the need for this system of understanding in more detail using some specific examples. See you next time, budding biologists.